Canines are our passion. They are our addiction. They are our way of life, right down to the very core. And without them, we would be lost. The canines of this world really are something to behold. They assist us at work. They accompany us at home. And they perform for us in the field. No matter where we go, they are by our side. Canines really are a ride or die, and for that, we are grateful. This podcast will showcase working canines of various breeds and disciplines as we search for those canines and their handlers who are always striving to be the best at what they do. Those who are always grinding. Those who are always pushing the limits. Those who are always dogging. Join us on our adventures as it is sure to be a wild ride. I'm your host, Bryce Matthews.
And I'm your co-host, Stephen Basham.
And this is Semper Doggin'. Welcome back to another episode of the Semper Doggin' podcast, guys. I am your host, Bryce Matthews, and on this episode, we are going to recap our trip down to Batesville, Mississippi, where your co-host, Stephen Basham, and I took a trip down there to hang out at the Winter Classic event. We got to hang out with a lot of cool people down there, met some really great folks, and we recorded a few good interviews for you guys. So we've got people that were hunting in the hunt down there. We've got a couple of ladies who showed in the show. We even have an interview with another podcast host who I'm sure you will recognize once you hear him. So I'm not going to spoil that for you. I'm going to let you tune in here, listen, and see who that is, because he's got a great story to tell you. And that was another great thing about this event down there at the Winter Classic where we went to, is it was all about telling stories, preserving, and promoting our heritage of coon hunting. It was an awesome event, and like I said, we just met some really great people. So I hope you guys enjoyed this episode. We enjoyed making it for you guys. We really enjoyed our trip, and thank you to everybody who helped contribute to this one. So without further ado, we'll get rolling.
Righty. Hey, buddy. How you doing today?
Oh, I'm doing fine, boys. Just rolled in, actually.
Oh, just rolled in?
Yeah, I just got here.
How long did it take you to get down here?
From Shepherdsville, Kentucky, it was about a 6.5-hour drive.
Shoo. Yeah. I came from Elizabethtown right after I got off work yesterday, and so it was about 6 hours.
Yeah.
About 6 hours. So they actually let you out of that place, huh?
Yeah, finally got away from all my patients and getting to do a little coon hunting finally.
Finally.
The coon hunting doctor.
Yeah.
Yes, sir.
The coon hunting doctor.
Ladies and gentlemen, I am going to let him introduce himself because I will butcher everything that he actually does. He was walking by, and we just kind of conned him into sitting down and doing a podcast. He is a very interesting fella. I've known him for quite a while, dreamed quite a bit of times, and always had a very good time, very good sportsman. Go ahead.
Well, thank you. Yeah, Mark Brockman, MD. Been coon hunting for about 20 years and practicing medicine for about 10.
Well, so what are you into the medicine side of things?
So actually pediatrics. So did my medical school at the University of Louisville, and after I graduated, did my residency at Norton Children's downtown Louisville. And once I finished residency, I started practicing with my dad actually for a couple of years. But now I am the sole pediatrician out in Shepherdsville, Kentucky. And do a little hospital work still.
Yes, sir. Yes, sir. I've known me and this guy here. We've known each other for a long time. Heck, man.
Well, out of Tell City, and
back when we were young guns.
Yeah, yeah. And I was still in college and medical school, and I said, man, I'd be up 24 hours, and then from the hospital come over and start coon hunting, and
yeah, we got a little gray in our beards now, but
I do. Yeah,
both of us. I mean, we getting up there now.
I know. But
man, many years. But yeah, always a good time. What kind of dogs you hunting now?
Still got my blue ticks. Right now, unfortunately, the the dog that we were promoting a lot, Brockman's Blue Buzz. He passed away last year, unfortunately.
No, sorry to hear about that.
Yeah, I appreciate it. Just kind of one of those things. He got sick, and he was in the ICU for about a week, and kidneys shut down, and that's all she wrote, unfortunately. But we were lucky. We've got about 78 pups on the ground out of him and some semen. And I'm hunting a young dog right now that turned 2 in October that we named the Buzz Cut, and we're liking him pretty good. He's out of a female, out of Butch Glass's stock.
Yep. Butch.
So you know Butch, yeah.
Yeah.
So, and unfortunately, that female also passed away shortly after that litter was born. But I've really enjoyed him. He hunts a lot like Buzz. He's good about having a coon, loud. He chops on the tree a little bit more than Buzz did, but he's loud and he gets gone and he goes hunting quick and fast. So I enjoy hunting him, and this will be his first time in a cast, so we'll see.
Oh wow! You're breaking him out for the big hunt.
I said when I got him from a friend of ours, I said I'm gonna not push him too hard right off the bat and not get too excited, but I do like him.
So how do you find the fine line between being a doctor and a coon hunter?
I try to make sure that I do get a little bit of sleep. And if my patients start telling me I look tired, I might take the day off. I might take the night off. But I enjoy both of them so much that I can't say it's easy to do, but it keeps me going. So
Yeah, absolutely. So this Winter Classic, though, it really does seem to tailor more to the blue ticks and the black and tans. Have you had success down here before?
So yeah, we were talking on the way down here. I don't want to jinx myself for this weekend, but I think I'm batting 80% right now on cast wins down here. I have a nice female, Ivy. You might have heard of the Crowder dog. He's got a little winning. That's his mama, and she's 3 years ago had double cast wins down here, and it does play to their advantage. Big open woods and a little swampy, and a good time of year for those.
A little nasty, a little a little grit.
I actually just saw Travis Dill walking around here a few minutes ago.
Here. I think he's hunting tonight.
Yeah, is he hunting down here?
Yeah.
Good deal.
All right. Well, what else you got, Basham?
Oh, not much. Like I said, just wanted to bring him in here. He's been a good friend of mine. We've hunted a lot, drew each other a lot out of Tell City and Cherry Tree and different places. I kind of grew up right in the middle of him. And like I said, just we've bounced heads between these casts and always had a good time, always a good sportsman, always carrying a good blue dog if there is such thing. I told him one time, I said, man, with that little gray hair, you would think a little wisdom would come and you'd switch over to the white and the black.
They're never going to learn.
I knew I should have come on here.
See? No, me and him, we go at it all the time. It's all in good fun.
Oh, yeah.
It's all in good fun. It's all about dogging. It's all about the dogs. Real quick, what got you, I've heard the story, me and you've talked, but tell the listeners what kind of got you into coon hunting.
Yeah, so, we've got family pictures all the way back to when they first started taking pictures of family members with dogs, coon dogs, beagles, whatever. And then growing up, was going a few times and we had beagles, but once I was in college I really missed being in the woods with a dog and realized all I had was the night, and I drove down to Alabama one random day and picked up a blue tick puppy, and that's all she wrote.
Yep. He was singing the blues all the way home.
I reckon so, but I have a similar story. Like the first dog I got was just happenstance, and it was a Walker dog. Like that's the first one. It's not like I was shopping for a certain breed. Yeah. I don't know. So now I'm stuck hunting Walkers, you know. But it's interesting. So, well, Mr. Mark, thank you for sitting down with us.
Thank you very much.
Appreciate you taking some time, and good luck tonight.
Yeah, good luck to you guys. Thank you.
Thank you, bud.
We have Mr. Caleb Griffin joining us this afternoon. We saw him walking by, conned him down to sit in the chair, and we got him on the podcast now. We've had him before in the Deep and Lonely. You guys heard him there. But we got him now for Simper Dogging. What is up, brother?
What's up, you guys? How y'all?
Doing pretty good, bud. How about yourself?
Living the dream, man. Loving this Delta life out here.
You going to come down here and try to sweep the weekend?
I'm going to come down here and try to play with a dog that's on Social Security.
Oh, man. Who'd you bring?
Preacher.
Oh, yeah, of course.
Now, I've been seeing this little puppy of yours just rocking and rolling. Why didn't you break him out?
Dude, he'll come out about 2 years, about sophomore super stakes, be about his first real hunt and everything. I was always nervous about hunting him, especially in I better stop right here. Something about them registered cats is a little dangerous for a pup.
Oh, my gosh. Well, when'd you come down? You've been down here all week?
Tuesday we got down here, and we've just kind of been chilling and eating at the Como Steakhouse up there.
Boy.
Oh, my Lord, that place is amazing.
I ain't had it yet.
Dude,
No?
you got to go.
What do they got? What's the best thing on the menu?
Ribeye, 20-ounce ribeye.
Come on.
Come on,
Lord.
best steak you'll ever eat in your life.
Uh-oh, here we go. What's the place called?
Como. C-O-M-O.
I think I saw a post Mr. Steve Fielder was eating there
Yep,
last
he
night.
was. It's like 30 minutes from here, right up 55. It's amazing.
Oh,
Best thing
man.
I've ever ate in my life. It's,
Oh, Lord.
Well,
hey, 2 nights in a
There
row.
we
I
go.
hit it up.
Oh,
he
there we
said
go.
2 nights in a row.
2 nights in a row. I hit it
Hey,
up.
and guys, for those of you that don't know, Caleb likes to eat. So.
I do. Nice little 40-pound gain in 2 years. I can't help it.
Man.
Oh, man.
Well, when you got a dog like Preacher that just trees him as he comes to him and just makes everybody else kind of look dumb, you don't have that problem as far as walking.
No, but whenever he when he moves at like 5 miles an hour and he's real slow, I don't get much exercise. I just kind of trump along through the woods.
Hey, I want to hear more about this pup. Tell me about the situation you had a couple weeks ago when we were supposed to meet up at Grand American.
Right. I went to Arkansas on the White River. I came back from the White River, and it was getting around Orangeburg time, and he started getting sick. And so I took him to the vet, and they tested positive for parvo at 7.5 months old, which blew my mind. I've never had a dog in my life have parvo.
Yeah.
And I took him at 6, 9, 12, and again at 16 weeks old for the booster shots. And then here he goes 7.5 months later. He gets sick, and man, I thought I was going to dig a hole. I've never seen a dog get that sick that fast in my life, and like that. He stayed at the vet from Monday to Friday, and when I got him home, like his head was just, there was no life to it. Like, and I started force feeding him chicken and rice, honey, and just concoctions, everything like that, keeping IVs in him and Pedialyte. And right around Sunday, he started eating on his own, and then it took about a week and a half for him to eat dry food, but he perked right back up. I laid him up for like 2.5, 3 weeks, and then he hit the ground running. And we've been running deer and skunks and possums.
So little pup definitely got some heart.
He does, and that's a big sign for me and everything like that. And I was like, well, he's tougher than I thought he was.
Yeah, because you and I are supposed to meet up down there at Grand American
Yeah.
and do a little hunting and just hanging out. And you text me that, and you said, "Man, I don't know if I'm gonna make it or not." And obviously, that pup is way more important. But
Oh, yeah.
I was a little upset. I was like, "Man,
I was too,
We
man.
had this planned out from the time we recorded over on Deep and Lonely."
Well, it's bad because I'm a resident of South Carolina. I've never hunted the Grand American. I've always hunted the St. George PKC hunt right around that time, but I've never hunted the Grand American. And I was like, well, this is my year. I'm going to hunt it, Winter Classic, Autumn Oaks, all that stuff. And then my pup gets sick. I was like, well, my priority was with my pup. So.
No, absolutely.
Well, we know one hunt, guys, that he's never, ever going to miss, and that's because he's had a string of good luck at that hunt, and that's the Tournament of Champions.
Well, here we go with a jinx.
You heard it here on Simper Dogging. Mr. Basham already jinxed him.
Yeah.
Where you entered at this year?
I hadn't entered it yet, but I'm planning on hitting Manning, South Carolina
Gotcha.
for the zones.
Gotcha. I got entered up in LaGrange the other day. so
Word.
I'm going to break out old wheels again.
I'm going to go swim with alligators. So.
Oh, boy.
Oh, yeah. Nice little April. Mid-March, April.
So
Yeah.
how old is Preacher now?
6. Be
6
7 in May.
years?
Shoot, boy, you still got all kinds of life left
He's
in that
still
dog.
young.
But, I don't.
It gets old. It gets
There
old.
you go.
It
There you
gets
go.
old. You know what?
I'd rather have a pup running deer every night
Yep.
and me laid up than hunting
Yep.
a dog that I expect more like a machine than old.
I was explaining it the other day about the difference between a dog that you've hunted and won with versus a younger dog. And I explained it like this. The ball is just dirty. You know how you get that basketball and
Right.
you're playing ball, and then all of a sudden the ball just gets dirty. It
Right.
just, I don't know. It's dull. It's not
See,
shiny
I'm
anymore.
the complete opposite.
And then what do you want? You want a new ball.
I want a new ball. I
You
want a new ball. I want something I can tweak and work with.
Yes.
And when you see the heart of a pup, it's just coming out, and you just know that pup, when it starts getting dark, he's just barking in the kennel, ready to go.
Yep.
You get him out and you turn him loose, and he's just trying to run anything in the woods, hunting 11 mile an hour, just flying. And
See, in my personal opinion, success doesn't bring. If all you have is success, it doesn't bring the enjoyment.
you don't have any humbleness. You don't have any, don't appreciate for it.
Exactly.
See, I'm opposite. I'm shutting you down. I'm opposite. I like Old Faithful. I like to go out in the woods because I'm working. I'm working. I want to go home. I want to pull him out of the kennel. I want to go tree a couple coons. And I'm not saying that you're going to find success on the highest level.
Yeah.
I mean, but give me that geriatric dog. That's my man.
I've been riding this ride for 5 years with this dog, and I'm, like I said, I get expecting more out of a machine than a dog.
Exactly.
I keep it
exactly.
That's why I haven't hunted. I've hunted him 4 times since November. I mean, that's
well. Not only that, when you have the success that you've had, the problem is your expectations go higher and higher and higher. So your failure rate becomes more and more and more. And so when he's not at his 100% all the time, it makes you upset.
That's right.
Whereas with a pup, you're
expecting
failure. So when you get that one thing, oh man, he came to me when I called him. Woo, yes. You get that.
I was so happy that I bought this dog a cheeseburger because he didn't mess with armadillos. I was like, yes, I would have not. I didn't have to shock him off armadillos. He's getting a double cheeseburger.
It's the small things in life, guys. See, the higher your expectations, the more you are to fail. I mean, you look at the guys that put time into this sport. The guys that run up and down this road. I mean, look at all these guys. They had 155 dogs last night. So the guys that put time and their heart into this, not everybody's going to win. And the best dog doesn't always win.
That's exactly
it doesn't
right.
matter. People think, oh, well, the dog that trees the most coons is always going to win. It's not how it always happens. And so you get this standard that you have for Preacher in your head, and when he doesn't meet that standard, you go back to the hotel room, singing the blues.
And Preacher's still probably eating a double cheeseburger.
He's over here singing the blues, whereas the pup, all he's got to do is just not mess with the armadillo, and he gets a damn cheeseburger.
That's bad. I know. Well, it's like I was talking to someone the other night. I was like, you could take, in my opinion, I could be wrong, but I think you could take a Final Four of any big hunt, and you hunt it 5 different nights. 3 out of those 5 nights, I'd say you'd have a different winner.
I'd agree with that statement.
Yep.
I mean, it's just like you said, Les Stevie, the better dog does not always win, but you can't. As a handler and an owner, you can't let that get you down to thinking my dog sucks, because all year long I'm on an up and down roller coaster. Yeah. Like sometimes he's doing good, and sometimes I'm on a losing streak. Sometimes I'm on a winning streak. Sometimes on a It's if you're going to do this, you're going to have to take your losses, and it sucks.
Well,
but
it's kind of like what I told Tiffany Atkins, and this is kind of off subject a little bit, but it goes right into it. As far as like the show dogs, you're not always going to win.
Right.
If you don't enjoy the ride to get to where you're going, if you don't, it's kind of like a NBA basketball player.
Right.
When he stops enjoying the workouts, when he stops enjoying the practices, that's when they retire.
That's exactly right.
It's not, you don't ever get tired of the games.
Right.
We don't ever get tired of treeing raccoons.
Right.
We don't ever get tired of coming to a competition hunt and competing. Where you end up losing that interest is the training. It's the every night going out there dogging every night, slaying in the mud, staying out at all hours of the night.
Well, it's like us. Like, we competition hunt. Where I'm from back home, a lot of people, when it gets summertime, they lay their dogs up. So when it gets season and opening around October, they hit the ground run. They're excited. We've been ground pounding all summer every night. So it's just another day to us, and I'm like, I don't feel like doing this, but I got to go do it, because I almost feel it's like, been a couple of years, but back like in a gym workout.
Hold on, I ain't got my hip waders on.
I'm serious.
Hey, I know where you can get a pair.
Froggy Bottom Outdoors.
Froggy Bottom Outdoors can hook you up.
Like in a gym, you get used to going to the gym every night. Say you do it for a month. you skip a night or two, you just feel like crap. Like you're like, I'm worthless. I'm a piece of crap. So it's like hunting. You're like, you get out there, I'm like, I'm not hunting tonight, and you hear the dogs start barking in the kennel at night, and you're like, well, damn. You know what I'm saying?
Guess I'll go.
The champ asked me one night, which for any of those of you that don't know, the champ is my daughter. She asked me, you going hunting tonight, Dad? And I said, baby, I do not want to go hunting tonight. Guess what happened when that sun was starting to go down? I started putting on my boots. She goes, Daddy, I thought you didn't want to go hunting. I said, baby, if I want to expect those dogs to do what I want them to do on game day, I got to take them when I don't want to go.
Right.
I can't expect them to perform when they're sitting in the kennel.
No.
So even when you don't want to, we drag each other out. It almost becomes our addiction.
Oh, boy.
Here we go.
It's kind of like with Preacher. Like I haven't hunted him maybe 4 times since November. One of them was RQE last weekend that he slick treed on. Coming into this hunt, I was like, well, if I get beaten out, it's okay. My dog's not prepared for it. I haven't done my homework, and I'm okay with that.
But sometimes, I got this way with Buddy.
Right.
Sometimes I would lay him up on purpose.
Makes him look better.
So, not only that, but so that if I lost, at least I had an excuse.
Yeah, thank you. That is exactly how I feel.
You're like, you know what? At least then I can have an excuse on why I thought he lost.
It's not his fault he
It's
sucks.
not
It's
his
my
fault.
It's because I suck.
Oh, boy. All right. This train's getting derailed quick and in a hurry.
You knew when you brought Caleb over here this was going to happen.
I know. He called me earlier. He said, you down here? I said, absolutely. He said, I'll come find you. And sure enough, here he comes sliding in. So.
Welcome to the world of the Marines. This is
Oh, you two can go on for hours.
Oh, man. We definitely we'll definitely have to get him scheduled for a full-time podcast.
Absolutely.
Sweetness.
Definitely.
Love it, dude.
We'll get him
I
nailed.
appreciate
You guys are awesome, man. I love y'all to death.
Hey, it's always a pleasure, buddy. It's always a pleasure.
Yeah, man.
All right, Kev. Thank you, buddy. Good luck tonight.
Thank you, brother.
luck.
I appreciate it.
See ya.
See you.
All right, guys, we are back here, day number 2, Winter Classic down here in Batesville, Mississippi, and we have got one of the busiest guys around to sit down with us for just a few seconds, Mr. Michael Roseman with Sunspot Lights. How you doing this morning, Michael?
I'm doing fine. How are you?
Not too bad at all. Hey, I want to sit down here and just talk a little bit about your new light you got out. You guys just released that copperhead light, and I've been a faithful user of Sunspot Lights for years, and I really, really enjoy that light and the product that you make. So why don't you tell our listeners a little bit more about your newest product line?
Oh, I appreciate you. I appreciate you using it. It's that newest Copperhead is kind of a combination of our Sniper, our Viper, and our Rage light. Kind of combines everything that's the best of each one. Takes away the kind of little stuff that we didn't like. We got brighter, we got lighter, and it's pretty slick looking too.
Yeah, it is. I got a couple in the other day for our new store, Froggy Bottom Outdoors, where you guys can go online and find those lights right now. And, man, when I got that shipment in of them, I was like, man, these are impressive. Like, the battery pack's slimmer. The head was designed just a little bit differently. It's balanced well. I was really impressed with the light.
Yeah, we were able to keep our burn times, our battery life, and really what we did was just make a smaller battery pack. It's just a little tighter in there. Still plenty of room. Same burn times and everything, though, and it looks better.
Right. So I know yesterday I swung by just to chat with you for just a second. I saw an old belt light looking deal over there, and it was a much bigger box. You know, I told you that I had a couple people ask me, like, hey, are we able to get that much more burn time out of a bigger box and a bigger battery? And you'd kind of explained that, no, that's not really the case. Can you go into depth a little bit about that?
Well, no, you can get more burn time with a bigger battery. The issue is with lithium-ion batteries is the more batteries there are, the easier it is to get them out of balance. With the old nickel cadmium and stuff, they'd go out of balance. The pack would still work. It would be a little weaker.
Okay.
With a protection circuit on the lithium-ion battery, if it gets out of balance, it shuts your whole pack down.
Gotcha.
More batteries there are, the bigger chance there are of having that issue. So we just kind of steered toward less, away from that. On the Copperhead, we even went one less battery, different type of battery that had more milliamps. So it's actually It's actually a little stronger battery than what we've been using, but in a smaller package. And I like the idea of 2 batteries rather than 3 or 4. It's just, we have a lifetime warranty. I have to warranty these things. We got guys that have sent lights in 15 years old, and they get replaced for $10 in return shipping. So the less problems I have, the easier it is for me in the long run.
Yeah, you absolutely cannot beat that, guys. I mean, and that's one of the reasons why whenever I first got a Sunspot light years ago, that's what one of the drawing points for me, one of the selling factors was the lifetime warranty, because a lot of other lights are offering 2-year warranty, 3-year warranty, and you are a lifetime warranty, pay your $10 shipping fee to get it there, and you get it fixed and get it back.
Yep, that's it. And we didn't start out like that. We started with a 2-year warranty like everyone else had. The more I got the lights in, though, the way it works is none of the parts are very expensive, the ones that would normally break. So it doesn't cost a lot to fix them. So it wound up being a hassle, getting credit card numbers, getting paid, having to contact the people. So what I was doing was just fixing them and sending them anyway. So once I figured out that's all I was really going to do, then I figured, well, why not just do lifetime warranty then? And we retrograded that all the way back to the first light we built.
Gotcha. Well, guys, hold on one second. I'm going to shut this off here, and we're going to let Alan get done talking on the mic, and we'll come right back with Mr. Roseman. All right, we are back here with Mr. Roseman. We finally got Alan off the big mic there. Hey, I want to talk to you about something that I'd heard over on the Bear Grease podcast, where you were explaining the difference between, what was it, brightness and power? Is that what it was, where you used the term lux?
Lumen and lux.
Lumen and lux, okay.
So when you buy an LED light, like you buy one from Walmart, anything, and outside of the coon hunting market, the question always gets asked, how many lumens is it? There's a few problems with that. One, lumens doesn't really tell us how bright it is. That's just a total output of light. Lux is how much light you can gather in one place. Now, this isn't the exact definition, but kind of a layman's thing.
Right.
So a reflector allows us to throw the light, and that's measured in lux. Lumens, they measure they put the LED in there, how much light it puts out, and in your reflector, you lose some of that each direction. So inside the light, outside the light, light you can't see, there's all kinds of things with it. But basically, lumens is the output, lux is how far it throws. So brightness for us is the lux reading, not the lumens output. So you can have 2,000 lumens and it light up a room in a soft glow. You can take 2,000 lumens, put it in a reflector, and see a mile with it.
Right.
That's what the difference is.
Right. And I thought that was very interesting whenever I heard that, listening to that podcast. It finally broke it down. I was like, okay, that makes sense.
Yeah.
So you've been in this light game for a lot of years. What are some of the biggest differences that you've seen from whenever you first started to where we are now? I mean, obviously technology's changed, but is there anything like specifically that you're just like very impressed with, or where you might see the future going?
Right now we need new LEDs to advance. The LEDs that we have, and the problem is the LED manufacturer, Cree, and those are more into outdoor lighting, house lighting. To get brighter with an LED, we need a smaller footprint on the LED. So the smaller the footprint is on the LED, so you're talking the little yellow piece you look at down there in the bottom of the reflector, the smaller it gets and outputs more lumens, the more lux we can get from it. If you take a large LED, so you look down in there and that little yellow square is big, and it puts out a lot of lumens, it still won't throw very far. We need a small form factor, and they're just not working on that. They're not the whole, to them, we're the flashlight industry. And the whole flashlight industry, they're just not overly interested in. It's
Right.
not where their money is.
Right.
So we need them to develop smaller form factor LEDs with higher lumens in them. And once that happens, well, then we can get brighter than we are. Beyond that, you have to start using either more power or bigger reflectors. We went smaller. I found a reflector that worked well for us on the Copperhead. I don't like the big heads, so we went smaller with that and was able to keep our lux. We actually increased our lux a little bit with the way that we built the reflector.
Right.
But we need that, and we need an advance in battery technology to make longer burn times.
Gotcha. Well, man, like I said, I just really appreciate you taking a few minutes to sit down with us today and go through that, explain some of that for us here, and appreciate the light that you build. Like I said, I really like it, and I would encourage anybody who's looking to market for a new light to check out Sunspot Lights. You're not going to find a guy with a better warranty, a guy who will take care of you with customer service like Mr. Roseman, and I mean that with all sincerity. So I thank you very much for that, and appreciate appreciate you taking time to sit down with us today.
All right, thanks, man.
All right, thanks, buddy. The Semper Doggin Podcast is proudly presented to you by Froggy Bottom Outdoors. Froggy Bottom Outdoors is the newest outdoor and hunting supply, habitat management, and livestock feed provider in the Midwest. With a wide variety of products, a unique business model, and a dedicated team of individuals who are eager to provide their customers with an unparalleled shopping experience, you will not have to search any further than Froggy Bottom Outdoors. With brands such as Garmin, Yoder Nylon, Banks Hunting Blinds, Razor Hunting Gear, Purina Mills, Kalmbach Feeds, Anuksha, Real World Products, and many more, Froggy Bottom Outdoors has you covered from the farm to the woods. Visit FroggyBottomOutdoors.com today and follow them on Facebook to see how they can help you. Not finding what you're looking for online? No problem. Feel free to give the store a call at 765-330-2098. The team at Froggy Bottom Outdoors is excited to get to know you and would be glad to answer any questions you may have.
Ready?
Not yet.
Did you tell him I wanted a picture?
Not yet. I haven't talked to him yet.
Dang it.
But we'll get him.
Okay, let's make this fast so you can go get him.
Well, it's a good thing I already hit record because Andy wants to make this fast. She saw Brent Reeves over there and wants to get a picture with him. So we're going to get that done after this podcast. But, guys, I'm sitting down with Andy Emery and Curtis Elburn. Andy won the top 10 bitch show last night with the Red Bone. How was that?
That was great. That was great. It was a big win. Good win for Hank and little change, little pocket change.
Yeah, not bad. $3,000 for a bench show.
Yeah, it's pretty good.
That's not terrible at all.
Nope.
Now, you just had that dog down there at Grand American where we just released our episode on that, and you got second down there with him, correct?
We did. We got reserve there.
So, you won Winter Classic, second at Grand American. You think you got a chance at the World this year?
We're going to give it our best shot.
All right. Curtis, tell me a little bit about this dog. Andy is obviously your daughter, and these dogs go back to your line. Where did these red dogs start from?
Well, when I was about 14, my dad bought me a red bone coon dog out of Tennessee. Russ Beller went down there and picked it up for him and brought it up here, and I kind of liked the red dogs. There weren't many of them around, so I thought that was pretty neat, and I just got to hunting the red dogs and breeding them, and then Andy has continued on and done awesome with them, just done great.
When you see Nikki and Andy out there in the show ring with the line of dogs that you'd started, what does that do for you as a father and as a guy who's competitive in the show? We know you're a competitive person. What does that do for you to see them go out there and win with these dogs?
That's just awesome. It makes me so proud that they can do this and they do this. And when they win, I win.
Absolutely.
I mean, that's the same, no difference in me winning.
Right. So I know you guys have always had the red bones, but you started dabbling in the leopards here, I wouldn't say in the recent years, but that's your most recent breed. You've had some success this weekend with your leopard dog as well. Tell us a little bit about her.
Well, she goes back to some dogs we bred. Andy found a leopard down in Georgia when they first recognized the leopards by UKC, and we bought one and we bred them, and we've been very successful with them. I've owned the first ever dual Grand Night champion leopard that there ever was. We've had a lot of first in the leopard breeds, and I got a nice little leopard now that goes back to the stuff we started with.
Yeah, that's awesome. Andy, let's go back to you and your daughter. Your daughter, Peyton, she's been showing black and tans here recently and had a lot of success with her. Tell us a little bit about that dog and about Peyton and where you think that couple has a future of going.
Well, we bought that dog from Dave and Kelly Myers. She's a nice dog, good balanced dog. Peyton decided that she loved a black and tan. Some friends of ours, Clint and Veronica Pace and Shane and Lisa Bedingfield, both let Peyton borrow a black and tan, and she won with those dogs. So when we started looking for something for Peyton of her own, this dog, she's built nice, she moves nice, got a lot of good components, but most importantly, she has a good personality for a youth to deal with, a kid to deal with. They have a good bond, and so yeah, they've won breed at most of the bigger events now, and I think they're gonna continue to mature, both of them, and continue to do well. Right, absolutely. Kurt, what does it do for you? I know your daughter's been showing, but to see your grandkids now, and this is third generation out there showing the dogs in the show ring.
Well, that's even better yet, and there's several of them, and they've had so much success in the youth events and the youth nationals, and it's just awesome to see that carrying on.
Yeah. Well, the Elburn name has been a big status in the show dogs for a long time, and I know you guys are going to continue that. Wish you guys nothing but the best, and thank you guys for sitting down for just a few minutes to chat with us.
Thank you.
Okay, thank you.
Well, guys, you just heard Andy Emery talking about how we needed to make her podcast nice, short, and sweet so she could run over there and get a picture with Brent Reeves. She done spotted him over at the Sunspot booth. But after we got that picture taken, we got to talking to Brent, and we've conned him to sit down here with us for just a little bit and give us a chat. And for those of you who don't know Brent, he's the host of the This Country Life podcast over on the Meat Eater podcast, and really a podcast that I enjoy listening to a lot with my family. It's a great family podcast, and Brent, we appreciate you for taking a few minutes to sit down with us.
Oh, man, thank you. I appreciate y'all having me on here.
Thank you.
Anytime. So the Winter Classic, this is your first time down here.
First time. You know, it's 3 hours from where I live now. It was even closer when I lived in southeast Arkansas, and this is the first time I've been over here.
Oh, man, what's kept you away this long?
Well, you know, I'm not a competition hunter. I love competition hunting.
Yeah.
But I'm not a competition guy, and this time of year is usually when I was guiding goose hunters. My brother and I had a guide service forever, and this was the conservation hunt in February, and it's no limit, no plug, just get out there and get the geese when you can. And since that's kind of dried up and I've had a lot more time to coon hunt, I thought I'd come over here and check it out. So
yeah.
Here
Absolutely. So, Waylon the Wonderhound, how's he been doing? I saw you took him on a hunt for a couple. You had an auction you did, right?
We raffled off. I was helping a group of folks up in Kansas, Independence, Kansas, and they've got a organization called Hunters with Mission, and they're supporting an orphanage over in India. And they have it's kind of like a DU banquet or a turkey banquet, and they have a fundraiser, and people donate prizes and stuff. And, or donate items, and then people bid on them, you know, or we'll put raffle tickets in there. I think is what most of it is. And I offered up a 2-day coon hunt with me and Waylon over at a friend of mine's place and cabin on the White River, and did really good. Sold, I think it was a little over $5,000 in online sales, ticket sales for it. And a guy by the name of George Pennington in Virginia won it. We drew his number, and he is going to be coming down here next month, and we're going to feed him some gumbo and take him coon hunting.
Awesome, man.
But yeah, it was a good time. We treat some coons up there in some kind of wet, rainy conditions. Kansas got a lot of coons and short trees, and that's what I like.
Right.
Heck yeah. Sounds good.
Absolutely. So the This Country Life podcast, man, just tell us a little bit about that for the listeners who haven't heard that. What is that? Just give us the synopsis on This Country Life.
Man, it's just a podcast about, it can be anything related to the country. I talk about growing up, stories, things and stuff that's happened to me. Fortunately, I have lived a life of buffoonery and more or less in a circus. And I have enough memory that I remember those stories when I should have been remembering algebra, but those stories have gotten me a lot farther. And I just tell, it's about 20 minutes long, 25 minutes, probably counting the commercials. It's an efficient listen. You can listen to it with your kids. You know, it's always G-rated. And it's just about my experiences in life and lessons that I've learned, mistakes I've made, and we'll try to keep it humorous and, you know, kind of lighthearted, but, you know, there's a message in there.
No, there always is, and I appreciate that, and I wanted to bring that on for our listeners to go over and take a listen to that, because that's a show that I listen to with my kids and my family, and we absolutely love it. So,
well, I appreciate it very much.
No, absolutely. Okay, so I want to know what's in your pockets right now. Is it everything that you talk about on the podcast?
I knew somebody was going to ask.
Here we go.
It's me. I'm the one asking.
Let me stand up.
Okay, we got a set of keys, a case knife, a tube of chapstick, another knife.
It's a case.
Is it a case? Okay. We got the Buckeye.
Buckeye, an acorn a little girl gave me at the World Championship Squirrel Cook-Off in Arkansas. This Buckeye, Clay Newcomb gave me after I gave him one probably 9 or 10 years ago. He lost his before we got off the mountain, and that's the same one that I still got. A Sacagawea dollar that my wife gave me that's supposed to help me find my way home when I'm away from home, and I've carried it every day.
Well, guys, those are some of the things that you can hear on the This Country Live podcast, where Brent talks about some of the things that he carries. I absolutely love it.
Yeah, man. I'm a creature of habit. So I ain't got no money to tote, so I just tote other things.
There you go. There you go.
All right, so thinking about the Winter Classic here, what's your first impression? The crowd?
Oh, it's good. These are my people, man. These are good folks. I've seen, when I pulled up and got out of my truck, of course, it's raining like what cows do to flat rocks, but it is nothing but hounds barking outside, and I thought, yeah, this is going to be good.
This is home, huh?
Yeah, this is good.
So you've been sitting over there with Michael Roseman, the Sunspot Lights. Tell us a little bit about that, because I actually had Michael on the podcast earlier. Them Sunspot Lights, you're a big fan of them, ain't you?
Oh, yeah, I love them. You know, I've had several lights growing up, and I met Michael through my buddy Rex Whiting, and who, in just a chance meeting, I was standing outside in my driveway cleaning out a dog box, and Rex pulled up. He says, there's only two kind of folks around here in that part of Arkansas that have dog boxes in the back of the truck. They're either coon hunters or duck hunters. Which one are you? And I said, well, I'm kind of both of them. I said, but this box is for a coon dog. And just that chance meeting, we sat there and started talking about it, and we started hunting together. And through Rex, I met Michael, and I mean, he's 20 minutes up the road from me making those lights, and I see how they're made. I know the folks that make them, and it's the light for me. They're good family folks. Michael's just like my brother. We hunt together all the time. Probably 90% of the time I'm hunting with Michael.
Yep.
So, because he's like me, he don't like to walk either, and we ride to the tree.
That sounds like the life to live.
Yeah.
So the retired life, is it treating you well? You enjoying doing the podcast stuff?
I absolutely enjoy it. You know, it's like my wife says, it would be like her getting paid to go shopping. You know, it's really a good deal. Meat Eater is a great bunch of people to work for. They're all focused on the outdoors and conservation and keeping this stuff and telling these stories that should be told and people need to hear.
Right.
And the only way that, you know, things are going to be cared for and they're going to keep going is if people care about them.
Yes, sir.
And to make them care about them, we got to tell the story, and that's what I like.
Yes, sir. The guy right before you that sit down, I conned him into telling us a bobcat story, and in telling that story, he came into the reason why he even came to Winter Classic, and it was to honor one of his friends that had passed away a month ago, and just seeing the look on his face of just heartbreak.
Yeah.
And telling a couple of the stories, and then his granddaughter sitting there recording the whole thing.
Oh, that's nice.
It really brings it full circle, in that if we don't sit down, it's kind of one of the reasons why I let Bryce con me into doing a podcast or helping him with a podcast, is because, it's all those memories that we have, and if we don't tell it and document them, when we die, they die.
Well, that's the good thing about that granddaughter is recording that, because they're going to have that forever.
Yes.
Even when Grandpa's gone.
Yep.
I've for the last 26 years, I've been videoing, filming, documenting outdoor stuff, but I never had the idea to sit down and film or record my dad, where the majority of my stories come from.
Yes, sir.
Yep.
So in my mistake of not doing that, I'm trying to make up for it now. He is and has been a big inspiration for me to keep this going and tell the tales.
Well, speaking of that, tell us your most favorite story.
Oh, Lord.
Of your father.
That's like asking.
Oh, I know it's hard. That's what everybody says. Well, not the favorite one. Just tell us one.
I'll tell you one real. Some of them are long and convoluted, but I'll tell you one that had to do with my dad that I've told on several podcasts that is one of my favorite. It's probably my favorite. There was a man that lived down the road from my dad when my dad was about 12, 13 years old, and he had a good coon dog. His name was Tiger, and coons were at a good price, and my daddy loved to coon hunt with him. This man would take him coon hunting with him. My dad's dad, my grandfather, was killed in a shipyard during World War II, working on ships, building ships. So he only had his my great-grandfather, his grandfather, who was already a little older, to go hunting with. But he didn't have a coon dog at that time, but the neighbor did, so that's who he hunted with. But my dad loved it so much he wanted to go all the time. Well, this man had a job. He couldn't go but just on the weekend. And my dad was laid down there at the house and hear his dog up there barking on the end of the chain and think, boy, I could be out there having that dog right now and go hunting. But the man that owned the dog had to get up early and go to the sawmill. So my dad had the bright idea, him and a friend of his that lived in the neighboring farm, they just go up there and cut that dog loose, take him off the chain, let him take him out in the woods and hunt. When they got through, they just do nothing, just walk home, and that dog would eventually go home. So that's what they did. They slip up to the edge of the yard. One of them would lay in the edge of the yard, and the other would crawl over there and take that collar off of that dog, hook it back like he had slipped the collar. The dog would follow them boys out in the woods, and they'd hunt till they got done. And then they'd leave that dog. The dog would go back and laid up on the porch. And he said they did that 2 or 3 times, for over the next 3 or 4 weeks. It got to be such a habit that they didn't even ask to go with him on the weekends anymore because they was hunting him 5 nights a week, themselves. And he said one time they crawled up there and they was taking turns to go get that dog. One of them would watch the house and make sure wouldn't no lights come on. The other one would slip up, slip the collar off, tied it back, and then they'd go on. So it was my dad's friend's time to crawl up there. He crawled up to the edge of the box, and then he crawled back to my dad and said, something wrong with old Tiger. He said, we shouldn't take him hunting. He said, why? He says, he can't breathe. He sounds bad, like he's sick. My dad said, we hunted him last night. There wasn't nothing wrong with him. He said, I'll go up there and get it. So he got him in the edge of the yard, and my dad crawled up to the dog box and told him, he said, now you watch the house and make sure no lights come on. He crawled up there to get old Tiger, and he said the closer he got, he could hear old Tiger in there going, he said, man, he's just struggling to breathe. That dang, something is wrong with this dog. He said, but we're going to hunt him anyway. But he crawled up there and he reached to get that collar. He said that collar was so tight on that dog's neck. If they had went one more notch, he'd have choked to death. So he said we didn't take him out anymore. He said I loosened it up enough where he could start breathing good. But what that fella was doing was getting up every morning, finding that dog loose on the porch, and he was tightening that collar up. He said he's not going to slip that collar anymore.
That's a good one right there. I like that
That's
story.
Great. Well,
That's
Brent,
good.
we won't keep you any longer. Thank you so much for joining us over here on the Semper Doggin Podcast. Thank you for what you do with this country life.
Yeah, man. Thank y'all for sure. Thank you. I appreciate it.
We enjoy it. Enjoy the rest of your time here at the Winter Classic.
Okay,
Thank you,
buddy.
sir.
We all know that canines can take us to some wild places, and some of those are only accessible by an off-road vehicle. No matter how hard you try to maintain your ride, something is bound to break on one of your adventures. When you find yourself looking for replacement parts, or maybe even a few upgraded parts to further try and prevent a breakdown, look no further than Never Satisfied Off-Road. Joey Goforth is the proud new owner of Never Satisfied Off-Road and is ready to serve you. Performance accessories such as lift kits, portals, tires, and more can all be found at Never Satisfied Off-Road. Located in Covington, Tennessee, the team at Never Satisfied Off-Road is ready to ship parts and accessories for your ride anywhere in the country. As their new website is currently being built, be sure to follow them on Facebook at Never Satisfied Off-Road 23 to keep up to date on the hottest items and sales. Give them a call at 731-693-9921 to place your order and get your ride ready to follow your canine wherever they may take you. Are you ready for the best part though? Mention that you heard this ad on the Semper Doggin Podcast and you will receive a Semper Doggin approved listener discount.
Yes, sir. How you doing today?
Doing fine.
Could you tell the listeners what your name is?
My name is Jimmy Kirby
And where you from?
from Alabama.
From Alabama. Guys, I was handing out some business cards, and I ran across this feller, asked him if he had a good story to tell. And I'm assuming, is this your granddaughter?
Yes, sir.
And I said, hey, do you got a good story to tell? And she says, you've got to tell the story about a bobcat. So I conned him into getting over here and telling all the listeners this story about the bobcat. So, sir, let's hear about this bobcat.
Well, my daughter, which was her mother, wanted to go deer hunting one morning, which I grow chickens at Poultry Farm. I told her, she called me, wanted me to go help her get in a shooting house. So I told her, I said, well, give me a minute, which I was in chicken houses. So I just come out and told her, I said, well, I'll take my rifle and go. And so I didn't change clothes or anything. I'd been in the chicken house smelling like chickens. And I go over and drop her off at her stand, come back around, and I stopped before we were about 200 yards from the shooting house I was going to get in. And I walked, and about the time I got sat down, here come a bobcat. He had his nose to the ground, smelling and tracking me. When he got close to me, he stopped and he was licking his lips and looking up in the shooting house at me.
Oh, man. You didn't pop him?
Yes, sir, I did.
Oh, man.
He's mounted at the house now.
Got him mounted. Man. How long you been coon hunting?
I'm 71. I started when I followed my daddy when I was about 8 years old.
Oh, man. Many years. What's your favorite story about you and your daddy coon hunting?
There's so many of them.
Oh, yeah.
Over the years.
So that's kind of one of the reasons why I'm kind of the obsolete guy in this podcast. I'm not really big into the whole telling stories, but really what got me is just the thought that my daddy's not always going to be around, and if we don't have something to record and document all these memories and stories that we had with the people that got us into coon hunting, they were just going to die with us. So I thought, what better way than to sit down and kind of go over these stories.
Well, what got me coon hunting was my daddy was started, and he had a couple of good friends, and so he'd take me along, and it was Walker Brothers. Yep. Their last name was Walkers, and Mr. Ralph Walker coon hunted a whole lot more than one we called Doc.
Yep.
We'd been hunting probably a couple of years, and never will forget, Doc was going to raise a litter of pups off of a black and tan female he had, and a high tan dog that Mr. Ralph had. And so when the puppies got up to about 6 weeks old, he told me to come pick me out a pair. And my daddy kept telling me, he said, he's not getting no dogs. Said, we got dogs. And Mr. Doc said, them's your dogs. He said, that boy needs some of his own. He said, I'll give him a pair of those.
Oh,
and
man.
He did. And the little female was making a sure enough real outstanding tree dog, coon dog. She got run over at a real young age. And I kept the male dog to probably 7 years old.
Oh, really? Turned out a pretty nice little dog, huh?
He made a good dog. He just had some habits that a lot of people wouldn't live with, but he treated coons every night.
He satisfied you, right?
Oh, well, he like I said, he treated coons every night.
There you go. There you go. That's what it's all about, guys. Hey, we appreciate you coming and telling a little bit about yourself and telling us the Bobcat story down here at Winter Classics, and we appreciate you. Hope you have a good time down here and continue doing what you do, Bob.
Well, I want to say one more thing.
Yes, sir. Go ahead.
Reason me and my granddaughter come back this year, she come with me last year. First year she'd come to it. Me and my nephew/son, I called him. He'd been coming 4 or 5 years with, but I had a real good friend, Mr. Jimmy Ray Terry. Mm-hmm. And I'd coon hunted with him since I was about 12, 14 years old also. And he'd come last, last 5 years, 6 years with us down here. he come last year, my granddaughter's first year here, and we lost Mr. Jimmy Ray to cancer a few months ago, and me and her was honoring him in our memories.
Yes, sir.
To being down here, he was a great person.
Yes, sir.
Great Christian, and loved coon hunting.
Yeah, it's and hey, like I said, it kind of hits the emotional spot. That's one of the reasons why we try to get people out, get them on the mic, is so that we can record these memories and let other people hear them, let other people be inspired by them. The world needs a lot more people that care about each other. Yeah. And that's what we're trying to share, that sportsmanship, that camaraderie that we have between each other.
Yeah, that both of my daughters, I had 2 girls that were mine, and both of them actually coon hunted with me and deer hunting. And then I call him my nephew/son. He's actually my nephew, but me and my wife and parents raised him from the time he was 11-year-old on up. Mm-hmm. And we've been a coon hunting, and God, there's been so many memories, and
yes, sir.
Which I, at a young age, actually I qualified a dog that I trained on my own. Took him to the ACHA World Hunt, won my cast the first night with him. He had emergency at home. I had to leave the hunt and go back. And then I hunted the next year in the UKC World Hunt, and I placed 21st out of 200, I believe it was 267 dogs at the southeastern zone hunt that year. Mm-hmm. But only top 20 went on to the finals.
Yes, sir.
So I missed out by one dog.
One dog. That's the way it goes sometimes. Without the failure, we don't know what success is. So
any of these young hunters that started, there's always, if you put the time and effort in, you can go as far as you want to go.
Yes, sir. Well, like I said, I want to appreciate you for not only bringing your granddaughter and sharing it, generation to generation. If we don't get these young kids involved, as we die, the sport dies. And so definitely bringing your granddaughter out here, sharing those memories. We appreciate you, and have a good Winter Classic, sir.
Okay, thank you.
Thank you.
Well, guys, we are sitting down here with one of the nice show ladies who's been trotting around the ring this weekend showing her dogs, Miss Christina. Officer, how are you today?
I'm good. How are you today?
I am wonderful. I wanted to get you down here because you probably don't know this, but I will never forget the time that you won the World Hunt with legs.
Uh-huh.
You know why?
No.
Well, that's the event where I met Nikki.
Oh, well, that's true. That is true.
I will never forget that.
I'd say not.
So tell us a little bit about the dogs that you're showing. What breeds are you showing, and what all have you done with them?
I'm showing plot hounds, and the current dog that I'm showing now is County Line Truman. He just recently became a champion. He's 2 years old. He was lucky enough at the last part of the year to get into the top 10. So we had a pretty good day yesterday with him.
Absolutely.
And then I have a young dog that out of my legacy female that I won the world with that I'm educating this weekend.
Just doing a little educating, huh?
Yeah, she's not quite old enough to show yet.
Yeah, that's good. So you travel to all these major hunts. What is it about these shows that keep you coming back for more year after year?
The dogs and the people.
The big part of it, huh?
Yeah, it's a lot of it. I mean, I played sports when I was growing up and everything,
right.
And then I had a bad car wreck, and it kind of changed the track of my life, and I couldn't compete in any sport or anything anymore. And I always wanted to show dogs, and I got into it, and I won my first tree and walker sectional, and I was in.
You was in like Flynn.
I was in
there.
like Flynn, that's right.
So is it the plot hounds that you have really just taken to, and that's your breed of choice now? Tell me about the transition of that.
Well, when I started with the walker dog. My ex-husband was into walkers, and I started with those, and I was looking around for a breed. Not that I didn't like a walker dog, I just was looking for something different. I was actually looking for a blue tick and could not find one in my area. that suited me. There's not too many blue ticks in Kentucky
Right.
at that time. So I went to the AKC World Hunt, and a lady by Linda Mack was there with a litter of Plott puppies, and I never did really gravitate to brindle dogs, but one of them caught my eye, so I ended up buying a pair of pups, and that got me started. So then I got the second dog, which is the Terrible Tuesday, and that founded my kennel, and all my dogs go back to that same female right now today.
Really?
Yeah, and that was in 90. I bought her in 96.
So you've been pushing that line for almost 30 years.
Yes.
That's impressive, and carrying that on.
Yeah.
Do you ever see yourself venturing out from the Plotts again, or you just going to stick with the Plotts?
I like all dogs. I'm not walker dogs. I like them, but there's a lot more work to them because they're white, and you have to keep them clean.
Yep.
So there's even when you get to a show, your dog's spick and span. He may not be the time you have to show him. So
Right.
there's a lot more babying with that coat color. Not unless I was to get involved with somebody that had it. I live in the city, so they really don't want me to have the amount of dogs that I have now.
Right. No, that's understandable.
But and it costs, with all the parent clubs and breeds and stuff, it's hard to cost effectively show two breeds and stuff like that and do them both justice.
Right.
Without having a partner in it to do part of it.
Right. Absolutely. So I know you've won the World Hunt. Have you won any of these other major events that I see you at all the time?
Oh, yeah. I've won the Winter Classic twice, and I won one year with my Frankenstein dog. It was the first big show I had won. Came back the next 2 years later with the daughter out of him, or maybe 3 years later with the daughter out of him, and won it again. And so I've won Winter Classic when it was in Albany. And then I've... obviously, the World Hunt, I've placed at all the breed days, and I've never won the Grand American. I've come second place.
Right.
But and then the World, I've won, in all registries at the World level. The one Liberty Bell female I had, she actually was reserved at UKC, AKC, and PKC World the same year.
Awesome.
Yeah, each time a different male dog beat me, but I was pleased to have what I had.
Absolutely.
So
absolutely. Do you still have the same fire, the same passion now that you did when you started?
yes, but my body has not held up as well as is the passion.
Right. What advice would you give to these youth handlers that are coming up into it, to sustain that passion for as long as you've had it? If they're starting from the beginning, what advice would you give them?
The first, you've got to have the love of the dog, and it's got to be for the dog. I would say listen to the people that came before you and give them credit. Just because you might not like what they're doing, they've paved the way for all you to be here. I mean,
Right.
They have put all the steps in because they were once in your shoes, you know. And consistency, if you don't do your homework, just like school, if you don't do your homework at home, you're not going to have any luck here.
That's right. That's right. Well, Miss Christina, thank you so much for sitting down with us and taking just a few minutes to chat with us. We sure appreciate you guys, and I look forward to seeing you around at the next major events.
Well, thank you very much.
Thank you.
All right, bye.
All right, here we go. Hey, I conned two of my good friends into sitting down. We got one over here says he's going to be really quiet, but I'm going to get him to talk. But I got two of my real good friends, people that I really look up to, not only in the coon hunting world, but just in general. They're my friends from Prairie Branch Kennels. Woohoo! Michelle and Ben Roberts. How y'all doing today?
Well, we're doing good. It's raining.
Wet.
It's wet. Yes, it is. What brings you guys to Winter Classics?
Pick up stuff.
Oh,
How come spend some money?
she come to spend money.
She comes to break me.
Break you? I mean, that's why you work, so she can spend, right?
That's why she works, to spend her own money.
Oh, but she spends yours too, right?
Yeah, all of it.
Yep.
So, for those that you don't know, Michelle runs a phenomenal training pen. It's a starting pen. I send all of my dogs to her. 100% recommend it. Look them up on Facebook, Prairie Branch Kennels. Tell us a little bit about what you have going on with your kennels and how it's been going.
It's it's been going. Well, it's a 9-acre training pen, 12-foot fence around it. We have, like
15 to 20 coons at all time in 9 acres.
Yep.
and I try to keep anywhere from 3 to 5 dogs a month.
Yep.
Been
How's
doing
that going?
pretty good. Been doing pretty good. I think
deal.
I'm gonna have a slow month, and then
Yeah.
I get a couple of messages and bring more dogs in, and I think I'm booked till April.
Oh, good deal. Good deal. You liking it?
Yeah, for the most part.
I think she needs a break already. She's dragging. She can't
dragging.
handle every night.
I am dragging, and it does. It puts a toll on you when
Yes,
you
it
do
does.
this 5 nights a week.
Yep.
You know, and I have a kid at home that is in school, homeschool. You know,
Yep.
try to keep my house up to keep and
Yep.
up. You know, keep up with that kind of stuff. And I'm usually when I'm out there, I'm usually out there till like 12 o'clock. You know.
Yep. Oh, I know.
It just depends on how the dogs are doing.
Oh, definitely. For those of you that don't know, we became really good friends. Their daughter and my daughter hunted together at the EKC youth hunt. We became really good friends, and then it just so happens that we ended up becoming in relationship as far as the Duncan hit the spot dog, and Spot was down at Ben's house for a little while, and they still with Ben's sister Tiffany. They're the ones that own Spot, and so I've got Spot at my house now. So the relationship just continues to build. They're good friends of mine. I love talking to them. Definitely wanted to get them in here on a podcast. What dogs you got, Ben?
Right now I got the youngest ever HCX dog, Hillbilly Hannah. We hunting her. She had puppies off of Spot. She's been winning a little bit here and there. I don't get to hunt enough for 14 and 14 schedule.
Yeah.
And it's hard to find people to help you handle now. Nobody, a lot of people don't hunt like us.
Yeah.
We hunt a different style of dog than most people.
Yes.
My
I'm
little
sorry.
Ripper dog Ripper's been in the pen since Autumn Oaks. He's been out twice.
Poor Rip's been put on the back burner.
I've kind of, for those of you that don't know, I've kind of corrupted these two.
Well, it's to see
Very much so.
me leaving local hunts and
Yep.
going to big hunts.
Yep.
I see what it takes.
Definitely.
There's the old barn behind the barn dog is not there no more.
Yep.
He can't handle it.
No.
He can tree coons, no doubt. Everybody's got a coon dog that can tree coons, but to be able to compete on the level with Spot, Hannah, the local dogs in Mississippi that are top dogs, Dustin Weed's dogs here locally. We hunted Hannah against Joker 2 weekends ago.
Yep.
Joker beat her by a circle tree.
Yep.
They both had exact points on the coon, separate by themselves. There's no Me Too dogs no more that's going to win big hunts.
Yeah.
You got to be deep and by yourself.
Yep.
I get to hunt with Lightning. I get to hunt with Misbehaving.
Man, she's a
Wade's-
handful.
Racket. You got Racket that hunts local with us. You got Andy Morgan's got Playboy coming up. He's a young dog.
Yep.
Colt Bailey's got his dogs.
Yep.
That's coming up. Dyke Parnell's got a female that I would pay anything for right now. She's my style of dog. She's a 2-bark tree dog, and she's deadly accurate. He will not sell her. So that's just the way it goes. We got plenty of dogs. We got Beauty from Adam and Greg. She's a nice dog.
Yep.
She's coming off pups from Spot 2.
Finally got puppies.
Spot's going to be our stud dog.
Yep.
We're going to see what happens with 2 litters.
Yep. There you go. He definitely, I tell you guys, I know that the listeners, the people that have listened, they've heard the story 100 times, but Spot has just been a blessing to me through and through, from the friendships that he has just brought together. Not even just with Spot, but Spot was the reason behind Buddy, the
Yep.
high dollar whiskey
Yep.
dog. Without Spot, Buddy never happens. Buddy never comes to me. Me and Bruce Bartz never create a relationship and a brother bond that we have. It all started with Spot. He co-owned 4 Spot originally, and then ended up getting out of that partnership, and Spot came down to you guys, and then our relationship became even closer. Our relationship actually started with me selling Ranger.
Yeah, the Ranger for my sister to handle.
Yep.
Ranger's one of the
He's
old.
living his best life right now with some bunch of kids.
Yeah, with a bunch of kids. He's a 100-pound goofball.
Yep.
You can't ask for a funner dog to hunt.
Yep. And then it went to Spot and Star, and I mean the line just keeps going.
That's it.
Diamond.
Oh, there
want her
you
back.
go. There you go. There's the wild child.
You want her back?
The wild child. Oh, Diamond.
Oh yeah, that's the wildest one I've seen so far.
She
Not all
lives
of
in
them.
Fort Knox.
Yeah,
Do what?
She lives in Fort Knox.
Really?
Yes. I cannot, her kennel is Fort Knox.
Really?
Yes.
She's that crazy, huh?
Yes. She will get out of
Her
anything.
grandmama was the same way. So those of you that don't know, her grandmama was Wild Style Molly, which was directly off of Wild Style Cruise, and a South Stylish Rebel female. Nikki Hale won Reserve Nationals with her 1 year. She was probably one of the nicest females I ever been in the woods with. But I definitely wanted to con you guys into sitting down just for a few minutes. I know y'all got a lot going on. I appreciate you guys, not just for this, not just for sitting down, but everything you guys do for me. You guys always have my back, and I consider you guys family. Appreciate you guys.
I got to go find your dad. I spoke to him a while ago, but I got to go back and find him. He was standing by the show ring over there.
Hey, I tell you what, that's. I think y'all see, Daddy and the way he is, and he is a testament to no matter what your health is, he's here, even though probably he shouldn't be. He's here, pushing through it because he loves it. It's. I tell people all the time, it's not what I do, it's who I am.
That's it. He made it.
Yep, it's who I am. It's who I am, and I am who I am because of him. Because of the relationships that I've built with you guys, and I appreciate you guys.
All right.
Appreciate you too.
Hey, thank you very much.
Thank you.
Semper Doggin and Hometown Hero Outdoors are proud to partner together to bring you the Hometown Hero Outdoors Hero of the Week. This week's hero is Detective Bailey Rogers with the Louisville Metro Police Department. Bailey was awarded a deer hunt last year through Hometown Hero Outdoors. During this hunt, Officer Rogers was successful as he worked closely with his guide to harvest a mature whitetail on Indiana public land. While the thrill of the hunt was something Bailey will never forget, he stated that the lifelong friendships made and the camaraderie shared with people who were brought together through a calling to serve others, whether that be through their community or country, were the highlights of his trip. Bailey, from Semper Doggin and Hometown Hero Outdoors, we would like to say thank you for serving and protecting your community. Listeners, remember, if you have a hero of your own that you would like to recognize, please send their name and a brief description to semperdoggin@gmail.com, and we will be glad to recognize them. If you would like more information on Hometown Hero Outdoors, be sure to visit them at hometownherooutdoors.org or follow them on Facebook.
All right, guys, we're back at it again, and we have finally conned Mr. Jay Lash into joining us today on the Semper Doggin podcast. Thank you very much for joining us, buddy.
Thank you. Thank you for having me. I appreciate it.
So, Jay, me and him came to know each other through, I bought a kennel from him, went down to pick it up, and we started talking about dogs. We kind of hit it off, talking about dogs, and it's kind of went ever since. Me and him stay in contact with each other. Won't you tell the listeners exactly what you make, Jay?
Well, as far as the kennels go, we build above ground kennels. They're on skids. We offer them with insulated dog houses. We offer them with barrels. All the housing is on the rear, but we offer with just 55 gallon barrels if you want them. We customize them any size, any shape you want, anything you want to add to them or don't like. We do, we do it different. Most common size is a 4x8 stall, and we build them from 1 up to 10 in a single run. We offer electricity lighting, put receptacles on the outside with fans, insulate the roofs on them. We put folding dividers in them. We whelping boxes with puppy ramps. Just anything anybody can come up with, we try to accommodate.
So it sounds like you have a multiple packages that you can actually put together for these kennels.
Yep, just, like I say, just try to customize them to fit everybody's needs. Just like a while ago, I had an 8-hole Beagle kennel ordered, 4x4 stalls, 24 inches off the ground, where standard is 16. He wanted a little taller with a little shorter sides for Beagles, so we make it happen.
So what got you into making these kennels?
Well, I just actually needed a new kennel for myself about 8 years ago. I've had every kind of kennel you can think of, from concrete on a slab to raised wooden kennels to have them tied on a chain, and I was already in the fab business. I actually owned a muffler shop. And we built a little bit of everything. Like I say, we at that time, deer stands were my number one seller. Duck blinds were second. And like I say, I built my first kennel for myself, and I advertised them a little bit. Took about a year for them to take off. And now we've got them, like I said, we're in Arkansas, South Arkansas. We have delivered them as far as Connecticut, New York, Idaho. You're in Indiana.
Yep.
We've got them East Coast, Gulf Coast, out west. We've got them all over the country. And they are by far my number one seller now. Yep.
Yeah, but one thing that I like about them is the fact that they're galvanized.
Right.
They're not going to rust. They're not going to fall apart. And the one that I'm sitting here looking at right here on the grounds at Winter Classic has something that I've never seen in another kennel setup, which is a fold-up divider between the two of them. So why don't you go into that and maybe what people can use that differences for?
Right. If you have a litter of puppies, and they get big enough to get out and around on their own, you want to separate them from their mother. You don't have to get them out of the kennel. You can just move them to one side, let the divider back down, and keep her to one side. Or if you get down to where you only got one dog, you want to let him have full run in the kennel, you can. Or just got 2 young dogs, you want to let them play, get a little exercise, you just let them access each side.
That's pretty slick. I mean, that's probably the one thing that I like the most about them is that fold-up door.
Yeah.
So
yeah, they're pretty nice. I tell you guys, it's been a hot attraction here at Winter Classic. Everybody's stopping by, complimenting him on how well they look, everything that they have going on. Like he said, it's got receptacles on the outside. It's got lights, light switch. I mean, it's a pretty sharp-looking unit, and we want to commend you on your work, bud.
Well, I appreciate it. I really do. Like I say, as far as the lighting goes, we put all the wiring in conduit, where the dog cannot get to it no matter what, any shape, form, or fashion. The only external wiring is on the very outside, comes off the skid out of the conduit, just a pigtail where you can plug a 110 extension cord up to it.
Yes, sir.
Business.
yeah, so I want to just go through here and to kind of just describe this for the listeners so they can kind of see what we're looking at here at Grand American. We got a 2-run 4x8 kennel, all galvanized. It's got 2 lights on the inside of it. Off the back of each one of them is an insulated doghouse, and on the front of them has a self-automatic feeder for each run, and then it's got the 5-gallon water bucket holders on the inside. What is the pricing on a setup like this running, Jay?
This exact setup with the folding divider and everything else, like I say, is $27.25.
Okay.
Is what this one is.
And if our listeners are interested in getting a hold of you, how can they reach you?
They can get on Facebook, Legal Creek Blinds on Facebook. We do have a website, but we do a lot more business off Facebook. We're on Instagram, or they can just look me up on Facebook, Jay Lash. Facebook, shoot me a message, and we'll fix you up.
Yes, sir. And hey, guys, this Mr. Jay Lash is not just somebody that builds kennels. He's also a houndsman himself. He enjoys many different avenues as far as hounds. What all you got now, Jay?
English dogs, as far as hounds go, that's all I've had about the last 20 years. I hunted blue ticks about the first 20 years. Once I got old enough to have my own dogs, and then, like I say, got down to one old dog and needed something started to keep going, and just happened across this English dog, and he did real well, and I just kind of stuck with him. So that's what I've got. I also have squirrel dogs too, Mullen Spice, and we've got labs. So always dogs around.
Yes, sir. And hey, that is why Mr. Jay Lash is a perfect guy to bring on our podcast, because we are always dogging.
That's right, guys. Well, this is going to wrap it up for the 2024 Winter Classic here at Semper Dog, and we've got people trying to get their trailers pulled out here, so I know Mr. J needs to load up, and Basham and I need to load up and get on out of here. So thank you guys for joining us this weekend. It's been a good time.
Thank you, Mr. Jay Lash, for sharing your booth with us. It's been a pleasure with your camaraderie and just building the relationship that we have.
I appreciate it. Thanks for having me.
Thank you, sir.
See y'all again.
See you guys. Well, guys, that rounds out another episode of the Semper Doggin podcast. Thank you so much for joining us on this journey. We really hope you guys are enjoying it as much as we are. This trip down to Winter Classic has been fantastic. Like I said earlier, we got to meet some amazing people and see some amazing hounds. So we just really enjoyed ourselves and enjoyed our time spent with fellow hound lovers. Make sure that you guys are going forward and supporting those who are supporting you. That'd be Froggy Bottom Outdoors and Never Satisfied Offroad, guys. They are here to support houndsmen. They're here to support dog lovers. And anything that you need, those two companies can hook you up. So make sure you give them some support. Guys, if you wouldn't mind, please follow us on Facebook. We've got our Semper Doggin page, and we also have the Semper Doggin podcast group. So if you guys want to be interactive, enjoy some more content outside of these podcasts, those two places are where you can find all of that interaction and everything that we have going on here at Semper Doggin. Give us a follow on YouTube, guys. Right now, we're just posting our audio, but we do have some videos in the works coming up there soon. So we're trying our best to make this the best podcast experience that we can for you guys, and we're going to get there. So, guys, stay with us. Keep engaging with us on the Facebook group. Keep shooting us those messages of things that you are interested in and topics you want to hear about that are all dog related. And please remember to submit your hero for the Hometown Hero Outdoors Hero of the Week, guys. We can never say thank you enough to those guys who are serving our communities and protecting our country. So thank you to them. Thank you to you guys for following us on this journey. Catch us on the next Doggin Tuesday Facebook Live, and in a couple weeks we'll have another episode here of the Semper Doggin podcast released just for you.